We want to take a moment to welcome everyone to the Watch This Shit podcast. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. My name is Seneca, the movie professor, and today I have my collaborator and cooperator here with us. Young Sam, go ahead and introduce yourself, bruv.
Hey, it's Young Sam, aka the Movie Apprentice.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get this thing in the hopper.
Mhm.
With this podcast, we're gonna give you the definitive decision on whether you should go view a new movie release or not. It's real easy. If we say watch this shit, stop what you're doing and enjoy some good cinema. If we say don't watch this shit, avoid it as you would challenging a professional footballer to a 1v1. Or don't. You can do what you want. It may be fun. It may see you getting your head knocked off by a soccer ball. You want to listen to us? You put your life in your own hands. Theaters are trying a new tactic to get butts in seats. This most recent ploy is the mystery movie screening. Moviegoers are invited to come see a screening of a movie, but they won't know what that movie is until it's being shown. When myself and young Sam heard of this, we didn't think about the possibility that this could be some straight up bullshit. I like this approach in theory, but the moment they play some foolishness, I'm not going to be happy. When we were sitting there, a couple trailers came on, and that's when it hit me. What if this is one of those super gay movies that they are showing in these damn trailers? I told young Sam, if this shit goes all homo, I'm fucking out of here. Nothing against good content, but if a movie is too gay, I need time to mentally prepare to watch it, and it better be one of the best movies of the decade. I'm not just gonna sit here watching two men. I love you too, dog. Let's get a beer and get married. It's a joke, but I really would have walked out. The movie we did get ended up still pushing that button just a little bit. Thankfully, it wasn't super exaggerated. It was based on a real person going through a real situation. Hmm. But if they would have went an inch further, I would have tossed my popcorn bucket at the screen and stormed out for a refund. Sam, did you realize the danger we were in while we were sitting in suspense of what we were about to watch?
Danger? No. I was just like, what could it be? We thought it was gonna be the Marvels, but yeah, it turned out not to be anything close to. Well, it was kind of close to Marvel. Yeah, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Marvel adjacent.
yeah, still um, I wouldn't say shitty creator because
Not
it
yet.
lacked control.
Agreed. So here we go. Another quote unquote story inspired by true events. This time, it is going to be told from the perspective of Taika Waititi. His name is
Taika,
so Taika
Taika
Waititi.
Waititi,
There
yeah.
we go. Yeah, when I wrote it weird apparently. This story, and we're going to get into it when we devote time to talk about the director directly, but it
Mm.
feels like Waititi came to your home, sat on your couch, and told you this story himself. His style is turned up to 150%. So much so that characters in the movie speak in his voice, cadence, and mannerisms. I've never seen anything like it. Now, if you love Watiti's style, no, I think it's too much for everybody. I typically love the way he tells stories. His quirkiness and humor adds good levity to his projects. But I feel like most studios balance this with the clear instructions and not just let him. Hold on. I said I was going to talk about him later. Let me focus up. The mystery movie was Next Goal Wins, or How to Use Quirkiness to Win a Soccer, even though your team doesn't understand the game, have a decent coach, and never properly practice. The story follows the 2011 American Samoa team on their journey to attempt to score just one goal in a professional event. The reason that one goal is so important is the fact that this team has been utterly horrible since its inception. During a match in 2001, they experienced the worst defeat in the history of the sport. Those boys got ran down 31-0. Now, 10 years later, they have a hope of accomplishing this reasonably obtainable objective if it was any other team. They have a new coach in Michael Fassbender, and he is going to white savior them to victory. Yes, I hate the white savior trope, and yes, they call it out in the movie. But remember movies. Just because you call out what is happening does not make it clever or more digestible for your audience. The thing is, Fassbender's character has a tragic backstory that makes coaching a team the worst thing he can do for his mental health. Now, with this ragtag group, we are left with the question, can they score this one goal that will mean so much to their entire territory? Young Sam, once again, we got the based on a true story thing happening. Other than what they showed at the end of the movie, how much of this do you believe really happened?
Oh, man, it was embellished. I feel like it was embellished a lot. Um, just like some shit, you just like, nah, that's that's
that didn't
that's
happen.
not that's not real life.
Uh huh.
But in some things, you can sit there and say, okay, I can believe that. But a nigga just is just walking on the field, ain't practiced in 10 years, nah.
Get out of here. That's ridiculous. Okay. Funny story, not for me, but probably for anyone listening. We were sitting in the movie and they showed the one chick on the whole island during a montage of all the people that Fassbender's character would meet during his adventures there. I looked at Sam and said, he better not get with that lady. Being the only slim girl on the island, and it was dark in the scene they showed. And she looked very feminine, like she would be the love interest. The very next scene, we were introduced to this character in the light, and I didn't want to believe it. Yes, the character was trans. This is the first of two times that I'll have to address the crazy times that we are living in where people can switch their gender. So let's go ahead and do it. All homo. I was praying that the white savior didn't get with the girl. Then when I saw that they recently started becoming a girl, I said, you got it, bruh. You can have that bitch immediately. Thankfully, this character is based on a real life person that was transitioning while playing on the soccer team. The drama that occurred from this person wanting to be what they wanted to be, but also wanting to run with the male soccer team wasn't a bad touch. It added to the stakes. This character ended up being the one that the coach became closest to out of all the other players, even going so far as accidentally calling them by his daughter's name. Sam, how did we still end up in all homo territory? And were you at all interested in the struggles of this trans player?
Um, I mean, it's part of the story. I mean, I didn't know it in the beginning. It was part of the story, but then in the end, you kind of they tell you what happened. Um, that's how we ended up there. Did I care about the struggles? I would say, I mean, it was an interesting struggle to kind of see what she had to they what they had to
It
go through. Um,
pronoun.
and I don't know how much of that was true or just how much of that was just embellished. So Uh, it I would like to know the real story. I mean, I like to know people's backgrounds. I'm just interested in stuff like that. So I would like to know the real story and just kind of compare the two. It's like, oh, was Taika just being Taika, or like did this shit actually happen?
Just from the way that it was happening, I can't see that being realistic. I can't. Even at
Hmm.
the end, when they showed the real life person and they were dancing and smiling and happy and playing the sport, and a picture, right, is just a snapshot in time. But they didn't look like they was going through a lot of struggles. That drama looked like it was played up for the movie. All right. So Michael Fassbender, the amazing actor that always does well, plays Thomas Ronjan, a down on his luck soccer coach that is demoted to coaching the worst team imaginable. He has constant bouts of anger that he is incapable of suppressing. His wife, that he is separated from, just may be sleeping with their boss. He is estranged from his family, and now he is sent to a remote island to try and turn around a team that has never had a winning season in its existence. It almost seems like they were trying to get this guy to drown himself in alcohol and the Pacific Ocean. Fassbender always impresses me. While this isn't his best performance, he is able to bring the character to life like few others could. He is Also, one of the only people in the cast that is allowed to do his own thing and become the person he is portraying and not the director of the film. This is partially because of how phenomenal he is, but also because most of the rest of the cast hasn't been featured in any mainstream movies. I didn't look this up, but you can if you want. But I find it hard to believe that this garbage ass team were able to team up with this garbage ass coach and get their first victory in ever. They weren't even practicing most of the time. He barely taught them formations or plays. And because of the power of friendship and bullshit, they won the first round of the tournament. Nah, I'm
Mm.
not buying it. Sam, how was Fassbender's performance from your perspective?
Um, I li I liked his performance. I feel like the character could have been wrote better, just because it was just so con confusing a
Mm,
little bit, um, just based on what he was actually doing. I was like, "Okay, like, are you happy, sad, angry? Like, is this a spiritual trip? Like, what are you doing here?" Um, and I just feel like that's just on the director
mhm,
that I just feel like that he didn't know where he wanted to go with this character. Like, he needed this character, he just didn't know. He had material, but I don't think he kind of went to the source and was like, "Is this how you act? Is this your mannerisms?" And what part of it was embellished, you know?
mhm. Yeah, he definitely didn't consult with that dude, clearly. Now, what I almost couldn't wait to cover, Taika Waititi, he was on a roll with his directorial outings until just here recently. Jojo Rabbit, Thor Ragnarok, and yeah, What We Do in Shadows. They all had his quirky style, humor, and were awesome movies. So when a director shows a propensity for doing their job well, the studio begins to give them more and more control over their projects. This is especially true when they're working on smaller releases or studios like Fox Searchlight, which this movie was released under. Now, with that being said, Watiti took all of the inexperienced actors, called them in a room, and showed them exactly how he wanted them to deliver their lines. Each of the Samoan actors speak in the same inflection, cadence, and vocal tics as he does. Sam even said this. If you watch the opening scene in which Watiti provides narration as the island's priest, then you close your eyes, you wouldn't be able to tell that the next three characters speaking were not the same person that you just saw before. This is new and I don't like it. I'm all for a director taking a hands-on approach. You're the captain. You should have a clear direction you want the team to move in. The problem is Waititi is attempting to get all of the people to do it the way that he would do it. Dude, you can't cast yourself in every role and be the director too. Don't try and make these people sound like you. It may be that they took his coaching too literally, but I really believe he told them to deliver the lines the way that they do. Sam, give the people your thoughts on Taika's previous their directorial outings in comparison to what he did here.
Oh, I mean, I've been a fan of Taika since Ragnarok, and then I went back and I watched What We Do in the Shadows, and I liked that. And then I watched Jojo Rabbit, and I was like, that's my favorite film. That's the if I'm introducing Taika to somebody, I say watch Jojo Rabbit.
Mm, that's great.
And what he's been doing lately, it just like you said, his he needs to be reined in. He has a lot of ideas and a lot of hands-on creativity, and I've read a lot of actors say, like, he's very hands-on. But there comes a time to where you have to step back and it's like, "Okay, let me get some more eyes on this because this could be cool to me, but it could be shit to somebody else."
Mhm.
And that's why I feel like it's going because Love and Thunder was trash compared to Ragnarok.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, eh, and and I just I curiosity killed me. I was like, "Okay, so why do all these people sound the same?" they sound the same because they're all New Zealand.
Oh.
That
That
makes
makes
they're
sense,
Samoan, but they
but
are
they're New
New
Zealand.
Zealand.
Wow.
But still, they should still have their own cadence. They all should not just sound the exact same. Yes, people with, accents do sound the same, but not that the same.
I'm glad you brought that up because Reese Darby, I'll talk about him in a bit. He's in the movie too, but he's from New Zealand and they're frequent collaborators and they sound very similar. So it may be one of those things where certain sections of New Zealand had the same
I don't
dialect.
think so
I
because
think
Jermaine Clement's from New Zealand,
that's true,
and
but he
and
might not be
he
from the same province or
uh,
whatever that they're from.
that may be true.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, because Reese Darby and Taita sound exactly the same.
Mm, it's gonna
And
take some
all these,
investigation.
yeah, I guess so. Uh, All right. Next Go Wins is labeled as a comedy drama sports film. Somehow, I personally don't think that it mixed well. There was some good comedy gags, a couple. I found myself in disbelief how funny they were. A couple decent dramatic moments. And of course, the we have to overcome our rival sports play was here with all the callbacks from Karate Kid. The reason these ingredients didn't mesh is because Taika had to Taika up everything. Because he made made these people's normal lives so goofy, it diminished the drama. It even had the weird impact of making much of the comedic moments fall flat. If you are consistently inundated with mediocre jokes, they will begin to grate on you. I've seen it in so many screenings. People start off laughing because it's a comedy. You're supposed to laugh. Then it wears them down. They're just numb or at worst disgusted by the juvenile attempts to force humor. My biggest question the entire time I was watching the movie was why are they all attempting to compete at a professional level? All the inhabitants of American Samoa were working multiple jobs just to have money to put into this losing ass team. That time and money could have been better served anywhere else. Maybe it's just my analytic brain, but I would have said, fuck this league. Let's create 4 teams on the island and just play for fun. After each season, they could even do player picks to keep the games fresh. Sam, do you feel like something was missing that caused this movie to not quite click?
Yeah, and I just don't know what it was. It says like when I said in the theater, it's like this isn't a soccer movie. It's it's like it's just a comedy. It had very little drama. But I don't know that other missing ingredient. Maybe if the drama was built up just a little bit and those just flat jokes toned down, then you could probably take the movie a little bit more serious, and actually show soccer. Like it's a
Mhm.
soccer movie. I mean, show me some football.
I think if the big reveal that they wanted to wait the whole movie to produce, if they would have gave more clues to that throughout the film, Fassbender's actions would have made more sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, take some of them whack ass jokes out. Yeah. Yeah, we don't need anyway. All right. So here's another big controversial section. We might need a disclaimer. There are a few other pretty big name actors here, and Sam wanted me to let one of them make it, but my soul wouldn't sit right if I don't comment on this bullshit. So we got Will Arnett playing the head of the soccer league, and the reason Fassbender's character is sent to America Samoa. Waitiki's frequent collaborator, I talked about him, Reese Darby. He's one of the lackeys. Very small roles. They really don't mean much. Lastly, Elizabeth Moss. She plays the coach's estranged wife. Let me just say it. She looks even more frumpy than normal. Moss does well as an actor, but that weird ass face and scrumpet body is not the typical Hollywood type. She looks like a regular ass lady you would see in Walmart picking up a carton of Rocky Road ice cream on a Friday night because nobody asking her to go on a damn date. Sam defended her. He said she may have been pregnant when the movie was filmed. But my retort was, if the damn character ain't pregnant, then it's time to recast. And all of these experienced actors were in the movie and had such a short amount of screen time. They could have put anyone in these roles. I know why his fellow New Zealand men was cast. They go all the way back to Flight of the Conchords. But his addition didn't add anything. These other motherfuckers added maybe 2 jokes. Barely that. Whatever they paid them, I can assure you they did not get their money's worth. The big reveal that Will Arnett was kissing this ugly bitch in the mouth wasn't enough to justify giving them 10 minutes of screen time. Sam, did you see any need for this trio to be in these glorified cameos?
Uh, mm, you had to have a villain, and I viewed them as the villain, in which they were. Could you
Were
have?
they?
I mean, yeah. I mean, they were gonna shut
Yeah.
down. They were
Oh
they
no.
were they were the
Okay.
antagonists. Like they were
Yeah.
literally the evil people, pretty much. But they blended that line a lot. It's like one time they're good, then it's like, oh, they're bad. It's like you don't really know until the end, and then even at the end, you're kind of like, huh? Like I guess they're bad. I don't really know. Um, could they have picked more actors, actresses? Maybe. I didn't find anything wrong with Elizabeth. I mean, hey, she looked normal. Um, but Will Arnett,
Hmm.
eh. And then I don't even know the other guy. Um,
Reese Darby, yeah. He's from Flight of Conchords. He was the manager to Jermaine Clements and Brett in that show.
oh,
He's Murray. Uh, if anybody wants something to watch from Taita and Reese, watch Flight of the Conchords. Hell, even watch the damn pirate show they got. It's
our
better than
flag means death.
it's better than this. It's not that good, but it's better than this.
I may actually go back and watch Flight of the Conchords because that's Jermaine Clement. I'm a big Jermaine Clement fan.
Oh, if you ain't seen Flight of the Conchords, you need to watch that immediately. Watch that
Oh,
shit.
oh
Uh-huh.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go back and watch it.
All right. I'm moving on to final verdict. If you don't know, it's real easy to determine. Don't watch this shit. The few chuckles I got from this weren't enough to get through this basic ass premise with what amounts to too much of the director's own flavoring. This film comes out November 17th. So one of the positives is that we got this out of the way. So now we can focus on the increase of releases that will happen as we get closer to Thanksgiving. There's a much better series along the same lines as this movie on Apple TV called Ted
Mhm.
Lasso. The story has more heart and makes more sense. It's damn near the same premise, except the coach is the optimist and the pessimists are the people that he's coming to coach. The goals, this movie reversed it and made it boring. It's not good. Don't watch it. Sam, get the
Yeah,
people your take.
yeah. Don't watch it. I mean, it's if you want a soccer film, Moneyball. And there's other soccer Ted Lasso, like you just said, but if you're coming just to hear jokes and shit, yeah, watch it. But overall, don't watch it. Also, Justice for Smiley.
I'm glad you put that in there. They
My boy Smiley.
disrespected that
My boy Smiley got disrespected. He got whitewashed.
man. Oh, so because you're not gonna watch it, we gotta we gotta tell you what this means. There's a character. His name is Smiley. He's on the soccer team. During the big game, everybody's getting out their speeches of who they are, what the team means to them. He jumps up. He says, he says, "You guys always see me smiling, and I'm smiling because of you. This last year, I've been through so much, both of my parents passed away, and then somebody comes into the locker room and interrupts him, and they say, "Oh, Smiley, we ain't got time for this. We got to go play soccer." But then later on, they give freaking Michael Fassbender all the time in the world to get out his backstory. It was so disrespectful, and Sam felt so bad for Smiley. I thought it was hilarious. But it wasn't fair. Uh,
Oh,
yeah. Okay. Don't watch it. Thank you for listening to another episode of Watch This Shit. You come here for the realest take on new movies. So make sure you follow us so you're not left in the dark on whether you should check out a new movie or not. If you haven't seen this shit yet, go on about your life. Don't even worry about it. Matter of fact, you're doing good. Damn, you're doing good. Check us out next time when we review Amazon Prime series Gen V. And good day to you.